Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first dynamic event of Formula Students Switzerland. Here in the driverless skip pad on the Dynamics area. My name is Dennis and I'm joined by Eloy.
Hello, good afternoon. We've seen already some runs by all three teams that have finished scrutineering already. If I'm not wrong, AMZ has to account for a couple cones on their best run, but we have also a definitive time from Kit, and hopefully Too Fast gives it a try once again and make their banker lap.
And we see that Kit is now pushing into the pre-area and waiting to set another run. Kit is currently having the second best time with 5.5 second average.
Warte mal, kannst du das mitnehmen?
And Karlsruhe is pushing into their next run. And it's ready to race, and off it goes. And well, that was a rather short one. Will be interesting to see if Karlsruhe is queuing again directly, or if they're going to have a look in their data what went wrong there.
Okay, it seems like they're gonna try again. It is worth saying that they have unlimited tries for the next couple hours, and it's the same for all the other teams. So they may as well use this time to try to get the best time.
And there it goes, and it's rather quickly now, and it's off on the outside of the first turn. But big improvement to last run.
Yeah, very nice. It looks like they're really going to try to get a good time, although their first one was already quite secure. Right now we have 3 driverless teams that have passed scrutineering, so pretty much the podium is guaranteed for now for all of them. So they may as well risk it to try to get the P1.
Yeah, they're going in full attack mode, right? They're not trying to get like a secure lap. I don't know how much cones they had in the first run. But just assuming that their first run was clean, like all they can do now is push it to the limit and we've seen in the past that driverless runs can be extremely competitive.
Okay, there we go again. I guess the race is not going to be very visible because all three teams that are around, they'll have to figure out what's the best they can do to try to get the best time without hitting too many cones. So you're gonna be probably going in and out of the driving area.
And off they go, and they're quick again, and now they made the first turn without hitting any cones, and that seems really, really solid so far. First right turn is really good. Now on the left, it's a bit bumpy here, and it's a lot of dust that gets thrown up here, but that is a really great run without any cones, and a big round of applause for Kid Racing here for a clean run with 5.2 seconds.
Yes, right now they're leading the ranking by about 5 points ahead of AMZ. Let's see if the guys from Munich can come in soon and bring a third time on the leaderboard.
Well, and it seems that AMZ is kind of triggered by that new time from Kid. They're pushing in, or from what I saw, they seem like they're entering Dynamics area now. Yeah, there they are. There's a lot of work that the scrutineers are doing right now at the kit car.
Well, there we go again with AMZ, that they're going to try again. I guess the disadvantage of having so few cars on track is that you have all the scrutineers paying attention to you, which may play a role if you're getting very, very close to the rules. And yeah, finally we have the 3 cars on track with Munich showing up, hopefully also to go through the finish line at least once. So let's see what they bring up themselves. Okay, the Zurich car is on. Let's see if they make it to high voltage. Okay, and we have red light for Zurich. Let's see if the autonomous system takes control. And we're going to have another lap by them. And the buzzer's on. Let's go. Very aggressive already from the start. Very clean so far. There we go, 1 cone. And second lap to the left. Very nice so far. And they are through.
And the time was a 4.984 seconds, so 0.3 seconds faster than Kit, but you'll have to take account that they were not coneless.
Yeah, I think even with the cone, they are still ahead by about 1/10. So that would give them the 75 points, and Kid would be now second, very, very close.
Yeah, Munich is not hesitating, so they're pushing in directly after. They have yet failed to set a time, so for them it's very crucial to get at least 1 clean run today.
It's important to notice that this is not like in the electric competition in Germany where the points are given rank based. So here's quite important to get as close as you can to the shortest time. So as closest to the winner as possible to accumulate as many points as you can for the driverless cup here in FS Switzerland. Okay, Munich are trying to turn the car on.
Yeah, and it seems like Munich has problems to turn on their autonomous system.
Tractive system on, driverless is also on. Let's see how far they make it.
Yeah, and that's one run we have seen before today from Kit. So the car decided to turn right away and then got shut down externally.
It's hard to hear at a distance, but I think they should take a prize for the best sound for the autonomous system taking control. And now we have everyone somehow in the queue, with Kit and Zurich waiting for their turn. So hopefully we're going to see a race where they are tuning the speed up and up. I think from what we saw, Zurich was trying to be slightly more aggressive, as reflected by their time. But we're going to see what they're going to bring next on track.
Yeah, and it seems like Munich is not trying to take another run directly, so they're pushing the car back in the queue or maybe even back in the pits.
Okay, it looks like we're really going to be set up for a race until the end of the session at 5, which is going to be in about 1 hour and a half, because now all three teams don't seem to be willing to go outside, so everybody's going to be queuing and taking turns to go back at it. So hopefully they can push the times a bit and reach a clean, coneless 5.0 or less, which I think should be doable. From these kind of teams, we've seen them over the years take many trophies in driverless, also in the electric class. So the expectations are high.
Yeah, and tractive system is on for the Zurich car. It's going to start anytime soon. And off they go, and they're sprinting again. Like really aggressive like they were before, and now they're managing to get without cones in the right turn. Going left transition is working well. It's a kind of a pickle they maneuvered in there, but they stay coneless, and the second lap was fast as well. And it's a 4.854 seconds.
Yeah, very quick, and also very nice that it corrected on the non-timed lap. So you got a very, very aggressive time on the scoreboard.
Yeah, it had quite a bit of oversteer here when it turned towards us. But that just shows how much we are on the limit on this track right now, and we've got a little dip here in the left turn.
Yeah, with the current weather situation, I think the wind's gonna bring dust all over the track continuously. So even if you can see it maybe on the cameras, that the rear wings are lifting a lot of dust from behind the cars, but as they remove it, the wind is laying some more on top, so it's gonna be a low grip in some areas for sure continuously. And I think it's gonna affect all the cars all the week. So all the drivers should be ready to have some unexpected grip conditions in some difficult corners. But we'll see how these driverless algorithms are dealing with that. They obviously have very good traction control all over the track, so they should be able to deal to a certain extent with this lack of grip in some points. Maybe some concern for the driverless, which the drivers maybe can manage better, is the fact that the wind is blowing very hard in a specific direction, actually from the end of the track towards the front. So for half of your circle, you're driving in the same direction as the wind, and therefore your aerodynamics are not helping you at all.
But I think Zurich did a really great job on the adaptability of their autonomous system. I mean, we've got a pretty strong wind in here now, and I can't even hear my own words while talking to you. And they still managed. And when the car got a bit loose, that's exactly the position where the tailwind is unstabling the car and interfering with the aerodynamics. And Kit is running again, and yeah, they're still a bit more on the conservative side, but clean again in their first lap. And second one, yeah, and it's really bumpy up the hill here, and it really manages all it, but now it had to brake a little bit, and I think the left turn was a bit slower than, oh no, it was not. But yeah, 5.098 seconds for Kit, so still 0.2 seconds slower than AMZ, but still a very, very good time.
Yeah, they got 2/10 ahead of their previous time, which is very, very nice, even though the second circle was a bit upset. So still very competitive. Hopefully they can tune it a bit further. And now we see Munich that is going at it again. So hopefully we can also see some nice performance from them. Now it's Zurich that's suffering under the scrutineers. Hopefully they can pass also these checks, get back in the queue, and stay alert until the end of the session to see if they really need another lap. Anyway, improving your time also improves your delta in points against the other teams, which is quite important. The driverless cap is 600 points, and right now they're all for grabs. They already did the engineering design, but there's no results announced for now, so all the options are open. And tomorrow they'll have to compete for the driverless acceleration to grab the other 225 that they're gonna get from there.
And Munich is about to go, and wow, they're sprinting forward now. Much better than the run before, but yeah, same thing as we had with Kit. After their rather short run, they make a like almost one full circle and come to a stop again. And well, if this trend continues, I think Munich will also set one really fast time, because they were looking quite fast in that first half corner.
Yeah, maybe they should tune down their strategy, start with a banker lap that gets them at least a time on the scoreboard, grab the regulation minimal points to have some already and start building from there. I wonder what their original strategy was, if they wanted to go that aggressive from the beginning.
On the other hand, we have 1.5 hours left, and they still have more than enough time, and well, all they need is one clean lap, right?
At the same time, we're also hoping to hear news from scrutineering from the other two participants in the driverless cup, that they can finish soon their scrutineering and also join us in this session to also have 5 teams driving in FS Switzerland the driverless cup. And Kit is clear to join the track once again. So we'll see what they are going to try to do now. In the meantime, IMZ has cleared the rescrutineering. And now it's turn for Munich. I don't know if the scrutineers are going to want to see the car after not driving that far. No, they are going to join the queue again and try to set up for another lap. And I think we're going to see Kid now take off. They seem to know what they are doing because the car has been quite successful at going on every time that they asked it for. So let's see what they do now. Hopefully they tune half or 1 meter per second up.
And you can really see that they're trying to push it a bit more than they've done before. And yeah, well, with the tailwind, getting that slight oversteer and yeah, not being able to correct it by the autonomous system. But that's really tricky conditions we have right now.
Yeah, you really need to take a gamble with the wind, hoping that by the time that the car turns on, there's not going to be gusts for the about 30 seconds that you need to clear the run. So it's going to be quite difficult for all teams. And obviously, the advantage that they have is they have unlimited runs. And for the next 1 hour and a half, they just have to keep trying over and over and hope to have good laps with good tuning and that the wind is on their favor. But the forecast shows that this is not going to go down. And the only chance so far is the temperature eventually is going to drop. We may get a bit of rain, but probably it's going to reach us the soonest a bit after the session's over. So it may affect the driverless manual discipline afterwards, but we don't expect it yet for driverless. And Munich goes at it again. Let's see if the wind holds a bit down until they can finish the run.
Yeah, and this seems to be the more safe approach now for Munich. So they're trying to get the safe points and getting a clean run. And I think with that windy condition they have right now, it's the best they can do. And off they go without any cones, and a big round of
Yeah.
applause for Munich for setting their first timed run with a 6.28 seconds.
Yes, very nice. If they great achievement, so very nice.
I mean, we have seen the potential of the car. They like actively tuned it down now, so they can secure some points at least, and we've got like 1 hour and 17 minutes left. So there's plenty of time to improve, and maybe the wind settles a bit for our three competing teams here. It doesn't seem that AMZ is trying to improve for now, but Kit is directly going at it again. So
Yes, we don't know their testing times. So the question comes: if you achieve what you have achieved in testing already, would you risk it further to try to get more points here in front of everyone, or would you rather play conservatively and not risk your car hitting too many cones and maybe having to retouch your front wing on the competition side? I mean, in about 6 hours, they'll have to be running driverless again. So you have to keep your car as much as in one piece as you can. So we'll see. But they seem to be taking our advice on how to tune their car. So if they're willing to listen to us, we hope to see many, many laps. That's what we would all like to see.
yeah, but it seems that Munich is not happy with what they achieved so far. So they're pulling in right behind Kid now again. But yeah, Kid is still waiting to push it to the start finish line. So let's see when they choose to push it to the start finish line. And
Yeah, I wonder what the policy is when there's so few cars that are here on track for the queue. I guess there's going to be a bit of gentleman's agreement and whoever's ready can go. If only one car is willing to. And also we'll have to see if they are delayed at all by rescrutineering. So far, I think AMZ is going back to the pits. So either they want to work on the car or they think they've done everything that they could do today. So let's see. So the best that could happen now is that Karlsruhe sets a very, very good time that motivates them to come back and try to claim victory with a faster time even. Okay, lots of wind right before Karlsruhe He's going to start the next run. Hopefully it goes down by the time that it decides to start, but we hear the noise and there they go again. So let's hope for another clean lap. And it's very good. Now it's going, the wind's coming from the back and it's clean. Very nice first lap with a 5.2 and the left turn is at 4.9. So their best so far with an average time of 5.06. So very nice.
Yeah, they had a little bit of trouble entering their first timed right turn. Had a little bit of oversteer as well. So it needed to correct. So the 5.2 seconds on the right turn. Maybe they can improve further. I think they will be able to hit below 5 seconds in average. So Munich is cleared and ready to go as Kit pushes out of this skid pad.
Yeah, this is good also for the drivers, for the skid pad drivers that are gonna drive later today, for them to see how to exit the track, that you have to cross the track, and therefore you have to be a bit careful with scrutineers, other cars, and so on. Also for them, good reminder to check which side to go first. We've seen mistakes every year, especially on the first events of the season. First to the right, then to the left. 2 turns on every side. And for sure, make sure that the second turn is the nice one. Clean, with good entry speed, clean exit, and no cones.
I was an active skid pad driver back then when I was competing, and was funny to see because I tested the track today with with those electric scooters we have, and we were like bantering a bit and trying to get the best time on a micro scooter, and then one guy started and turned on the left on his first turn. So it isn't as easy as it looks. You need at least 2 brain cells to get the right turn right.
Well, I think these teams all have installed very good brain cells on all these cars because they are doing the correct procedure every single time. So let's see what Munich can do right now. Starting rather conservatively, but there they go.
Ooh, and it threw one cone right in the middle of the track for the left turn. So maybe we will have a big punch now, and yes, that's what I thought, but they came to a halt before they went into the timekeeping.
Yes, but it was a very fair attempt. They were doing 5.5 seconds on their first turn, which was much better than their banker lap. So very nice for trying that. Okay, so the track is clear now for Karlsruhe. They passed whatever pre-scrutineering inspection they needed. And Munich is not going home. They want to get back at it. So let's see. Let's see if they can improve their times. But I think they both teams are willing to keep trying until 5. So they have about 1 hour now. And there's plenty of points for them to grab.
I mean, in the top two, it's really, really close right now. We've got 5.06 seconds to 4.8 seconds. That's not very much in skid pad, and it's only like 25 points difference right now. So every millisecond counts.
Yes, I bet the silent battle here is happening in between the guys that are holding the laptops, that are deciding what is their best course of action. And of course, it's difficult to know the trade-offs that they have with their control algorithms, the confidence that they have on the cars, the risk that they are willing to take with the wind, the dust, and the track conditions. So we will only see the results as they keep trying to find their best performance possible today.
But I think the track is kind of getting cleaned right now by Munich and Karlsruhe, because in the first runs we commentated, the dust really hit my eyes, and now that doesn't happen anymore. So maybe we also have a big improvement on the track itself with more rubber getting put on. And well, the more they drive, the happier the cars with driver will be later, because the more rubber in it is, the faster it gets also for them.
Okay, Karlsruhe is going at it again. They know the procedure. They seem quite calm about it. They know the car is going to respond. And I think they didn't take any cones so far in the whole afternoon. So we should see another clean lap by them. I'm not sure if they are waiting for the wind gust to go down or not.
But an aggressive start again from Karlsruhe, and now they're managing their first turn a bit better. There was a little break, but not as much as before. And now on the left turn, yeah, the bumps are really heavy here in the dip, and they're, well, that seemed pretty fast. How fast were we, Eloy?
4.967, so they're already also below 5 seconds. Very, very nice. Although I have to say, seeing this car jump a bit on the left turn is giving me a bit of fear for the drivers that are going to come later, that they don't get upset by this bump that's also in the direction when the wind is not working in your favor. So it's kind of the very last lap that you're going to do is going to be probably the hardest one.
Yeah, with driver, the cars are heavier, and I think we might get bottling or scraping front wings in that turn.
Yeah, definitely. I would expect it to happen for sure tomorrow in the autocross. There's plenty of sections where some heavy braking plus an unexpected bump could scratch your front wing. But yeah, we already see it here with the driverless system without that much mass. So definitely a factor. In any case, a very nice P2 so far for University of Karlsruhe, the Institute of Technology of Karlsruhe, with 210 points right now. So right behind Zurich and very, very close. I'm seeing Zurich t-shirts still around the track. So hopefully their car is not gone for good. And in the next 60 minutes, we still see them again. Let's see if they want to make sure that their time stays on top of the scoreboard. And also from here, best wishes to the other two driverless teams that are stuck in scrutineering. Hopefully they are working now to try to get through that and score as many points as they can in the dynamic disciplines of the Driverless Cup.
And the wind has calmed down a bit, so maybe Munich has a chance. But there seems to be an error on the car.
Yeah, they have gone to low voltage system again, so we have a green light on the main roll hoop. And they're taking the push bar, so maybe they'll have to clear the track if they cannot solve this now.
Yeah, and Karlsruhe is not giving up. They really want to challenge the AMZ time.
Okay, so we're stars again. I have the feeling we're gonna see this switch back and forth for the next hour. But let's see what Karlsruhe is gonna try to do now. I bet their previous strategy was already quite good. One could say that maybe the suspension tuning could help them, but I'm not sure. I'm sure they know their car the best. So they're gonna try everything they can to try to top the scoreboard. Tractive system is on, so let's see what this lap is going to bring.
So right now, Karlsruhe needs to improve roundabout a little bit more, a little wee more than 0.1 second.
It seems like they started the run. So back to work.
And AMZ is getting the car back on track, so a big round of applause for another competitor, or, well, our current leader back here.
I'm wondering what they needed to do back in the pits, that they maybe needed to open the car and they weren't willing to do it in this very dusty and very windy environment, which would be fair if they had to open any critical components inside.
I mean, we don't know if they passed re-scrutineering or post-scrutineering or not. That's sadly some information we don't have. So maybe they needed to check on something and yeah, quick fix it. And yeah, well, Karlsruhe is pushing back the car. I think they're not allowed to two runs if another car is in the queue.
Yeah, we have seen the scrutineers are quite thorough. So it is definitely part of the strategy to make sure that your car is rules compliant the whole time, especially after you do your best times.
And it seems like Karlsruhe is trying to leave dynamics area, and yeah, well, a wild horde of scrutineers is approaching them.
Yes, with the good old reliable rulers. It's definitely something that all the teams need to have also in their toolbox to make sure that their cars are reliable all the time. Especially for the new teams, always check and double check everything that is in the rule book and also everything that is safety critical. It's not only about the rules, it's also about making sure that we all come out of this event unharmed. In the meantime, Munich seems to be ready, willing to try once again for their second time on the leaderboard. Let's see if they can improve on their previous one. Okay, and tractive system is on, autonomous system is on. We're gonna hear the bell now, and let's see.
And this is taking very long again for Munich.
If I read the rules correctly, I think they have about 2 minutes to activate their car and start the run from the point in which they are staged. So which is a bit more permissible than in other competitions, but still quite important that your procedure is well set and reliable. And there we hear the sound, and hopefully they go. And better luck next time. Well, it looks like we're starting to spend the budget on cones by scrapping them off a bit with a bit of asphalt. There wouldn't be a Formula Student competition without a bit of destroyed cones here and there. But I expect that during the endurance we're going to see way more asphalt sandpaper effect.
And a big shout out to our drone pilots giving us those really, really nice views from above the track.
Yeah, it really puts into perspective what a privileged location we have here in the canton of Valais in Switzerland. This amazing track that is quite narrow, so it forces us to have a skid pad that is placed diagonally on the runway and makes the exit, or let's say return home, a bit more complicated, but nonetheless very, very nice. And also we have these wide areas with grass that keep the public safe. So that's also quite nice. I'm not sure if Munich is gonna try again, as the queue is empty. Now I guess they have time to see if they can do the run right now without having to wait for anybody else. While at the same time, the Zurich team is outside the dynamic area, hopefully getting ready or ready to jump into action if they have to. And also, we would like to see Karlsruhe coming back at it. We can see them from here, but wishing that they keep the fight until the end of the allotted time, which is 48 minutes right now. And it looks slow from the outside, but I'm pretty sure all these team members that are involved with these driverless algorithms are working really, really hard to see what's the best they can get in this session.
Yeah, and time is running. Like 48 minutes is not that much anymore. So we're getting there. That the teams need to get their most aggressive approaches for the next few runs. Right now, Munich seems to still be working on the car, but it seems like they're allowed to do so.
I'm not sure what the time allowance it is in these conditions, but as the queue is open, I think it is fair play to let them try until they are either able to go or they deem it impossible for this attempt and they have to regroup and fix whatever is going on.
Yeah, and the car is cleared and back in high voltage. So Munich will be running again, hopefully in a very short time. And Munich is running again, and yeah, much quicker than in their first timed lap. Good right corner now on the left, getting in that steady state, and wow, they're eating that bump. That was a really good run with 5.335 seconds, and I think they can tune it up a notch.
Yeah, that was clean, that was fast, that was very nice. And they've shown what they can do. So now, hopefully, they use the remaining 45 minutes to try to improve on that. But already very good performance from the University of Munich. Very cool. They pretty much doubled the points that they had 5 minutes ago. So they just sit behind Zurich by about 50, 60 points. So not too far, and I'm sure there's potential in that car. So is this session going to be like third round of qualifying for Formula One, where they all are going to wait until the end to do the good lap, or are they gonna keep trying continuously? I don't think they need to worry too much about the tires. They don't need to worry too much about track temperature, laying out rubber, or anything else. It's pretty much up to them and their control settings. So if Karlsruhe and Zurich are willing to wait now, Munich's gonna go at it again. And they've shown they have the potential. So let's see what they can do.
Yeah, I really like the suspension setup on that left turn. Like the Karlsruhe car was basically jumping through that little dip we have here, and Munich just ate that bump. So I'm pretty confident that if they start to get more and more aggressive on their setup, that Munich can improve and get to a maybe similar time than AMZ and Karlsruhe. Yeah, well, and Karlsruhe is pushing it back in, so they're still trying to get that first place. That's also sets Munich under pressure, because now they can't wait as long as they did before.
Yes, but it doesn't seem like Munich feel much under pressure. Their car is ready once again, and they're willing to try.
Yeah, still, ooh, and as I wanted to say, still a solid run from Munich. They're killing the middle cones.
Yeah, very, very nice though. They improved on their right turn about 2/10 on their previous run. So very competitive performance. But yeah, difficult track. And it's difficult to hear probably from a big distance, but from here we can hear all the stones that the cars are lifting hitting the under floor of the car. So it remains quite dusty with gravel, dirt, and plenty of things that make your car less grippy.
Yeah, and it seems like Zurich took the bait from Karlsruhe. They're also back in the queue.
Okay, I hope the car from Munich goes out unharmed from eating all those cones. Definitely the leader right now in the cone eating competition. And next we're gonna see Karlsruhe try again. Their last time was the best that we saw, the last time that got on the scoreboard. So let's see if they keep tuning up.
Yeah, and as Munich tries to push out of Dynamics area, I can see some scrutineers having a look on those on their front wing, which isn't much of a surprise when you hit that big cones we have here on the start finish straight.
And it seems like Karlsruhe is gonna board this attempt, and hopefully just they'll do that to get back in the queue. And Zurich's not really very patient. They're willing to go back on track as soon as possible. And now the clock is ticking, 36 minutes to go, and you see how long it takes to set up the car, do the run, and recover. So there's only very few runs left for these three teams. So now each run counts very much.
I mean, I can't blame Zurich for pushing right back at them. They got cleared in their queue, so I would have done the same.
Yeah, and all the time that you're on track, it's not your competitor. that's there, so it's your chance and you're taking it from your other competitors. Of course, this is a gentleman's competition and it's not supposed to be blocking each other. But yeah, it's fair game. Come here, do your attempt, and put a bit of pressure on each other. Okay, and Zurich is ready. The tractive system's on. The orange lights are also on. So let's see how they deal with this bump on the left turn. It's worth mentioning that this bump is also going to be at the start of the autocross. We're going to take it from the other side, so the drivers themselves will have to also deal with that. And so far Zurich's going very clean, very fast. So definitely they want to improve on the previous performance. Bit of correction, but maybe that doesn't handicap their time lap. It looks very nice, lots of wind gust, but so far very nice time, 4.813, which is an improvement on their previous. Very nice job, but Karlsruhe is here, and hopefully they're gonna go back in. They're in the queue, so that's signaling that the car is somewhat ready. And they're probably thinking, what can they tune, or which risk they are willing to take to try to get as close as they can to the Zurich time, which is now about a 10.5 away from them. It's a small distance, but difficult to overcome at this level of marginal gains that you have when you're that fast.
And I mean, we have to put into consideration, right? 4.8 were top times in like with a driver 6, 7, 8 years ago. This is really sick how fast autonomous driving has gotten in the last few years.
And it seems like Zurich doesn't want to go home. They must be using the fact that they can do 2 runs one after each other. I'm not sure if it needs to be successful to be able to repeat, but yeah, they want to stay on track. They want to keep trying, bet on the wind that it goes in their favor. And since the Karlsruhe guys are still somewhat sitting on the floor, maybe that's not upsetting them too much. In the meantime, Munich got cleared, either with a pass or no pass, we don't know that, but at least they can go back to work and see if they need to repair that front wing or if they can still make it in the next 30 minutes to get on track and improve on their previous time. Okay, and it seems like we're going to have another attempt. Tractive system is on, waiting for the orange light and the buzzer that signifies that the tractive system is on. And there we go. Very nice.
And again, Zurich is really, really fast, and I think they can push it even further now. Ooh, a little oversteer in front of the bump, but it doesn't matter too much because it was the first lap. And yeah, that looks really, really good. And this should have been an improvement. No, it's almost the same. It's 4.831, and the run before was 4.813. So yeah, very consistent. Good job still.
Yeah, they're getting pretty even times on all laps in the last two attempts. It seems like they used the same settings or they were upset by similar conditions, but still pretty good. They stay on the lead, and now Karlsruhe is going to try to challenge that. So let's see if they are a bit more fortunate on this attempt, and the car starts the mission. Very good. So Karlsruhe set up quite quick. As soon as Zurich was out, they're going to start their mission. And Zurich is getting back at it again. So they're really going to try to juice every minute that's left. So let's see what Karlsruhe can respond now and see if they can push the Swiss team.
Yeah, with Zurich's improvement, the gap increased to 20 points again. It was 15 before, so maybe even closing the gap would be a good target for Karlsruhe, right?
Yeah, I think we prefer a very small gap among all three teams that are competing right now, so that we can prolong the pressure until tomorrow and see if the acceleration also comes as close as this. But let's see what Karlsruhe does now, if we can hear the buzzer and the car starts. Yes, there we go. And it seems they aborted the mission. So hopefully that's not a technical issue, because it seems to be a bit recurring. And we would like to see this car going around this track again. Okay, and after a bit of discussion with the officials, it seems like Zurich is clear to go in again, and Munich is back in the queue. So if Karlsruhe, who just got out, is able to turn the car back on and start the mission, we could still get one run from each team at least. So let's see what they are each able to do. But now it's pretty much last chance, time to risk it all. Okay, and let's see what Zurich is able to do, maybe on their last attempt of the evening. Tractive systems on. Their ASR seems to be ready. The buzzer's on. And now the car should go. And let's see, very fast, already from the get-go. Let's try to keep it clean. Bit of correction on the lap that doesn't count.
Oh, and it's really windy now down here. But the Zurich car is taking it quite well, but it might affect the time. But oh no, it did not. 4.794 seconds, so the first time with a 0.7. Still improving, still more to come, and yeah, Munich is trying to close the gap now as well.
Yes, very nice. Very different from the first runs that we saw where they had a bit of trouble avoiding cones. It seems like now they are quite consistently staying clean, getting good runs. Also at very similar pace, but it seems like they tuned just a notch up to get a bit more out of the car. So now crossing fingers for Munich that they can also get a clean run. Very nice. Munich has low voltage system on. Let's see if they can activate the tractive system. We see the red light blinking. Orange light is on. So now it's time to shine for this beautiful orange and black car.
Ooh, and a little oversteer in their second lap, so in their timed lap. So this will not be faster than their best lap they had. And yeah, another correction.
there they had to do. But to be fair, the car managed to still finish the run, right? They threw a cone, yes. They had to do a correction, yes. But they're testing their limits on their car, and they're like they're at least trying to push it in the directions of Kit and AMZ.
Yeah, I think it's quite commendable that the car managed to finish the run, and it convinced both the officials and the team members to not have to press the emergency button. So quite reliable, I would say, and yeah, worth it. And we have an empty queue again, but I see movement from Karlsruhe, so they're willing to take another chance. And it really seems like even Zurich could get another run if they clear the scrutineering. We still have time, 15 minutes left. Nice, so it looks like Munich is going to be able to run again. So Karlsruhe will have to wait, although they seem to be busy with pre-inspection. And let's see if Munich can get a bit lucky with the wind, also with their own control, but obviously we would like that conditions favor them for these very last attempts. And there we go again. We have red blinking light, we have orange light. And Munich should be a go anytime soon.
And they're about to start right now, and ooh, super aggressive in the first turn. I think the car needed to settle there for a bit. They already threw a cone, but it is, yeah, a really fast attempt by Munich, and I think they will manage to have a really good time, but yeah, we will have to add the cone.
Yes, very good time, below 5 seconds, 4.997. Even with one cone, it's better than their previous time by 1/10 and a half. So very good job from the team from Munich. And I bet they're going to be quite happy to get some very fast data from this track.
Yeah, and with that time, they're able to challenge Kit. So maybe we will have a little showdown for second place here in the end.
only 50 points, if our accounting is correct, separating the three teams. 25 in 25-point gaps. So now it's all up for grabs. Let's see. I think all three teams can improve a tiny bit. Let's see who's willing. We have all three cars here. So everyone, nobody's willing to say that's it, that's the best I can do, which is the attitude that we need in Formula Student. It's fighting till the very end. We've seen it year after year. You keep trying, and there's a chance you get it on the last minute and you get some points home.
Yeah, and we only have 11 minutes left, and with the time the cars need to set up and get in ready-to-race conditions. 11 minutes is not very long. I think we can see maybe 4, maximum 5 more runs overall. So, yeah, depending on how the run order is and on how long everything takes, I think every team has at least one more run, with Munich maybe even having 2 more runs before we're finished with driverless skid pad.
Yeah, according to the regulation, you have to be in the queue by the time is over to be able to run, and there can be only 3 cars waiting, which is what we have. So if by the time it's 5 o'clock, if my understanding of the rules is correct, if you're on the queue, you can still get 1 run, maybe 2, if the consecutive runs are allowed. So there's still time, and let's see what Kit can do now.
Yeah, and it seems to be that they are also now getting the most aggressive setup they have right now, and the right turn seems to be pretty solid. Ooh, a bit of oversteer, and then they hit an inside cone, and well, I think they aborted it manually, right?
Yes, they took that cone in the car. Hopefully it's not lodged in a place where it damaged the aerodynamics package behind the front left wheel. It was a very nice lap, 4.958 on the lap to the right. So very competitive, very nice from them to try something like this. And it was a very smooth run on the first lap. So maybe got a bit upset, but very good job. And in the meantime, it seems Zurich is going back in. So now pressure's going a bit up. So nobody's leaving. Karlsruhe stays inside. They're not willing to give up. This cone is not going to stop them. And in the meantime, Zurich is staged again. Tractive systems on. The responsible person is going to turn around and hopefully press the button soon, so we can see them going around the track once again. And that's the buzzer, and there we go.
And again, they're flying off the line as this was an acceleration event, but it is skid pad and it's very aggressive again.
was a clean run in the right corner, and now turning left, even with the bump that looks really, really good, and it could be a bit faster. Yeah, 4.733 seconds. Hey, they might even hit 4.6 if they continue like that.
Yep, very nice job, very smooth. They survived the bump very, very cleanly. And also you can hear on the sound the powertrain goes super smooth, very little correction. So very good job from Zurich. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure of the policy for getting a second run, but I think it's nice that if Zurich is currently leading, that there's an opportunity for Munich to get states right now and get ready for driving as soon as they can. So hopefully Zurich clears the track and we can see another car running. Meanwhile, Karlsruhe is still here, so they also haven't given up on getting some more time on the board.
Yeah, and I think Munich has the biggest potential of improving their points and their time, because they were really fast in their last time, but hit a cone. So if they get it done in the same habit and just be coneless, then they could attack Karlsruhe and maybe even AMZ. Like, it is super close.
Yeah, definitely. If they have a clear run at the same pace as before, they can challenge Karlsruhe. They can get very close. They both slightly below 5 seconds. So let's see what they can achieve now. They just need to activate the code avoidance scheme, and that should get them a clean run.
Yeah, and Zurich is also back in the queue, so they will most likely get another run. So yeah, could be that we see that 4.6 seconds.
Yeah, we can see that the cars now are in a rush to get their runs, because as there's 4 minutes left, if you're back in the queue, you can run again. So there's hope for pretty much all three to get some runs. Munich is getting back, which is nice. It's fair play if you can't start soon. It's fair to let somebody else try. I think that's a gentleman's agreement that's been among all these teams for many years, to make sure that as many teams can run and try to set competitive times. So this is very nice. Let's hope that they can get back in the queue and also get their own opportunity. So
Yeah, they will have approximately four minutes to sort out what made them not run now. But like, as long as they're in the queue, which they are now, they will have another chance.
as this is why it's so important to know the rules, not us, but all the team participating teams, to make sure that you can exploit all your opportunities and really bring the best performance home, to know what you can do and until when can you work hard to really get the best out of your car. So let's see what Karlsruhe can do now. They've had a couple DNFs in their last attempts, but hopefully they sort out their problems. Tractive systems on, and hopefully the buzzer leads us to some good laps again. It looks like their car is more willing to go for dinner than the team. But there's 2 minutes left, so if that aborted mission gets cleared out quick and they can get back in the queue, maybe they can get still one more run. So now the clock is ticking.
60 seconds to get back in the queue, so they rather hurry.
Remember, no running, but walk as fast as you can.
45 seconds. And 30 seconds. Yeah, and I think they made it in time.
All right, so now it's time, and it seems we're going to get one run from each team. So 3 teams in the scoreboard. We're going to get a full podium, which we're going to be very happy for it. And now it's time to see who's going to stay on each step. It's all up for grabs. First, we're going to see Munich. I'm pretty sure they can achieve below a 5.0. So I'm hoping for no cones on this run.
Oh, and that doesn't look good. The car just did like a little nudge into the front and then came to a halt again.
Yeah, unfortunately the mission got cancelled. Didn't cross the timing barrier, so I think that's about it for Munich, who can go home still very, very proud for a time that, if we don't count the cones, was below 5 seconds with just 1 cone, which is not a very heavy penalty, and about 170 points for this discipline, so it's very good result for them.
Yeah, and seems like Kit is going next, so they're in order in front of Zurich.
Yeah, I like that. It's a bit of a reverse grid, from worst current time to best. Also a bit inspired by the Tour de France on their time trials, which is on post today, so that all these cyclists can see what kind of racing we're doing here in Switzerland while they are in France.
Yeah, also like that Zurich, if they get beaten now, can have the opportunity to reclaim the first position in like the most dramatic manner we have today.
Yes, we would love a bit of back and forth. Right now it's last chance for everyone. So how far are you willing to take your algorithms, your controls, the boundaries that you have set for your car, and your tuning of your suspension overall? Okay, the Institute of Technology of Karlsruhe's car is on, track systems on, and as soon as their ASR is in the correct spot, hopefully he gives the green light to the mission and gets a good lap on the scoreboard. Fingers crossed for lower wind than right now.
Oh no, I think the Karlsruhe car is trying to attack us again.
Yeah, I think there's a magnet on that cone that is pulling it. I want to go for dinner. So yeah, it seems like the podium's going to stay as it is, but Zurich is going to try one more attempt, try to increase the gap. Still, it's worth some points. It's not only about being in top position, but also about building a gap to the next teams and coming tomorrow back for acceleration with a bigger margin than they have right now. So now they're leading with about 30 points over Karlsruhe, and maybe they can increase this a bit. And there we go. Let's see what they can do with their last attempt.
And it is already hit a cone, so we won't see an improvement here.
It's not going to be their best time for points, but it is very competitive. So they're going to be quite happy to see this 4.718, which is better than they did before by about 200ths of a second. So very nice.
So a little trivia fact for you guys around here, we had 33 attempts on autonomous skid pad today and 17 completed skid pads, so nearly 50% or a bit more than half of the skid pads we saw were completed. Yeah, well, I think that's it from us. We will be back in around about 3 hours when the normal skid pad or the skid pad with driver is taking place. Now the 3 competing teams here have 3 hours of time to get every driverless things removed and get back into the race condition they need to compete in the next event. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Thanks Eloy for the last 2 hours I think we covered.
Pretty much. See you guys later.